It is 10 p.m. in Banjul, and this is GRTS News, broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. Coming up in the next 1 hour, the Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, decorates 9 officers who were recently promoted to the ranks of Lieutenant Colonel and Commander. The Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Aliou Badara Diouf, receives in audience stakeholders in the timber export trade at his office in Banjul. His Excellency the President Adama Barrow appoints Usman A. Ba as Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, effective Friday, the 24th of June, 2022. Plus, the Small Ruminant Enhancement Project hands over disease surveillance items worth over $15 million to the Department of Livestock Services. In sports, the Gambian National Interdepartmental Sports Association, NISA, and the Senegalese counterparts organized a 3-day meeting ahead of a football tournament in Banjul. Elsewhere, Kenya hosts her first International Pistol Shooting Confederation Open Championship. Well, viewers, these and other stories coming ahead in the next 1 hour. I am Esaso. Thanks for joining us. Well, it is great to have you. Now, the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, His Excellency Adama Barrow, on Friday decorated 9 senior officers who had been recently promoted to the ranks of Lieutenant Colonel and Commander at a ceremony held at a State House. Our Presidential Affairs correspondent Mamadou Jallo was at the presidency and filed in this report.
Of unity, patriotism, progress.
9 of the 12 senior officers were decorated to their newly promoted ranks by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, His Excellency Adama Barrow, at a ceremony attended by the military top brass and other senior government officials. The officers are part of more than 50 others who were elevated to various ranks in recognition of their selfless service, loyalty, and dedication to country and its leadership. The Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Yakubu Drame, believes that the Gambia Armed Forces as an institution needs effective leadership at all levels of command to enable it to respond to the ever-evolving security challenges and dynamics. This, the Army Chief argues, requires tough decisions from the leadership to move the armed forces to the next level.
This promotion exam, Your Excellency, is one concrete step taken by the armed forces to streamline those who would eventually be at the top. In the military, there's a saying: much are invited to join the military, but only few eventually will rise to the top. Much desire to join. However, only few individuals should be at the top to run the military. Why is it so? It's a pyramid. Much were called to join, but eventually only few would be at the top. And this exercise, Your Excellency, is in preparation to have the right people at the top to rule these armed forces.
These promotions, according to the Minister of Defense, Serigne Modou Njie, comes at a critical time for the Gambia Armed Forces as it undergoes some serious transformation and reforms to overcome the capacity deficiencies. The Defense Minister therefore expressed optimism that the promotions and decorations will usher a new lease of life into the armed forces by providing a new crop of competent, highly trained and well-motivated officer corps.
The nation is at a very crucial moment that demands your higher level of loyalty, courage, and professional competence that are needed to preserve peace and security and the defense of our hard-earned democracy.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, His Excellency Adama Barrow, congratulated the officers on their elevations, which he said is evidence of their commitment and loyalty to country and people. As the security situation around the world continues to evolve, President Barrow urged the officers to remain steadfast and dedicated to service.
The new challenge to you, the promoted officers, is to excel further through your individual and collective efforts and service. As members of the armed forces, to reinforce the success and efficiency of the army. I urge you to remain loyal, guided and motivated by the spirit of patriotism and service to the country.
The president reassured that his government is committed to the welfare and advancement of the military, especially at a time when the Gambia Armed Forces is undergoing a security sector reform process, which seeks to overcome the inherent problems associated with logistics, training, and staff welfare.
My government is very concerned about the welfare of the armed forces. To improve the conditions of service of our gallant officers and soldiers, we will maintain a close relationship with them and our partners to achieve this successfully. This will complement the review of the 1993 Terms and Conditions of Service for Officers and Soldiers, which Cabinet will review shortly. Along similar lines, we will persistently seek ways of addressing the inherent training and capacity challenges of the Gambia Armed Forces.
President Barrow, however, called for patience, urging the Gambia Armed Forces and its leadership to focus on their training programs as government works with other stakeholders and partners to actualize the objectives and priorities set out in the National Security Sector Reform documents. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
The general public is informed that His Excellency President Adama Barrow, in exercise of the powers conferred on him under Sections 71, subsection 1 and Section 71, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, has appointed Mr. Usman A. Bah as Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, effective Friday, the 24th of June 2022. Until his appointment, Mr. Bah served as the Chief Executive Officer of the Indian Institute of Hardware Technology, Gambia Limited. Mr. Bah has over 20 years of corporate work experience at the executive level and in the telecommunications and fintech industries. He served in managerial and in executive positions and became Division Executive Leader of Heartland Payment Systems, Managing Director of Pure Energies, and a Vice President of the Bank of America Small Business. Mr. Bah holds a BSc in Information Technology from the University of Phoenix in 2004 and an MSc in Systems and Networking Management and an MBA in Business Administration from the Golden Gate University of California. The release concludes. Still on the executive matters, the Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Aliu Badara Diouf, on Friday received in audience stakeholders in the timber export trade at his office in Banjul. The closed-door meeting is meant to familiarize the Vice President on issues relating to the timber business as well as guide the government's quest to come up with a policy on timber export trade. GRTS's Yero Jallo picks up the rest of that story.
The closed-door meeting is meant to acquaint the Vice President issues relating to the timber business as well as guide the government in their quest to come up with a policy on the timber export trade. In an interview with GRTS shortly after the closed-door meeting, the Minister of Environment, Rohi John Manjang, stressed the need for government to critically look into the timber export trade and come up with a policy that will preserve and protect our natural resources and the environment.
The meeting was specific on the timber issue. As the President of the Gambia, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, has emphasized with an assignment for the first time in my office to say that we need to look into having this ban on this timber. And of course, this time we're looking for a sustainable results. So that is what we are working on the process. I know the people are anxious to see the results that they desire. But again, my policy is we need to make sure that we work in-house to look at the strategy that we are employed before so that we'll see what has gone right and what has gone wrong and what we need to strengthen so that we will have the result that we desired. Efforts has been made in the past, but we still are unable to get the result that we need. So that is why we took our time to fix the house and to look at the loopholes, to work on strategy and put heads together on the best step that we are going to take to get the result that we desire.
She revealed that the meeting also availed them the opportunity to critically look into the current policy and what needs to be done in promoting the best interests of the country. For GRTS News, this is
the Resilience of Organization for Transformative Smallholder Agriculture Roots project, in partnership with the Network of Financial and Tax Reporters Gambia chapter, recently organized a day's sensitization on the implementation of the project. Dozens of media practitioners discussed with officials of Roots on modalities aimed at accelerating transparent and accountable efforts to achieve food and nutrition security in the Gambia. Usman Mane was there, and he now tells us more.
Food insecurity, malnutrition, migration, unemployment, and climate change towards achieving growth in development. Gambia government, with support from the International Fund for Agricultural Development (IFAD), mapped out the resilience of organization for transformative smallholder agriculture project, the Roots, which succeeded the NEMA project. The project came into force in March 2021, worth $80 million on loans and grants from international development partners championed by IFAD. The sensitization of media practitioners, courtesy of the Roots project, through the network of financial and tax reporters, will improve their understanding on the implementation of the project activities for accurate reporting.
The primary objective of this forum is to avail journalists the opportunity to have in-depth knowledge and understanding about the Root project and accurately inform and educate the public on the ongoing activity of the biggest agricultural value chain project. Yes, some might be doubtful on reason providing such sensitization to financial and tax reporters. Ladies and gentlemen, we must be reminded that the direct and indirect beneficiaries of this laudable project are taxpayers who are expected to pay tax from their medium and long-term investment proceed and benefit from multiple opportunities being offered by the Root project.
The Roots project director, Mahmoud Jan, explained the funding component of the project.
Yes, the budget of the project is $80 million. But that $80 million includes contributions in cash and in kind. Secondly, the cash aspect is yet to be fully mobilized. Not all the donors are yet on board, so there is a funding gap as we speak. In fact, there was a funding gap from the time of the launch of the project, and that funding gap is yet to be filled. So we don't have 80 million, let that be clear. There are several other interventions that are encompassed within that component. It includes literacy and numeracy activities for our beneficiaries.
This, he said, will be only understood by the public in collaboration with the media personnel. The president of the Gambia Press Union, Mohamed Esba, urged colleagues to engage officials on relevant issues of the project for objective and balanced reporting. With that, he noted, will put officers to account during project implementation.
So we are not also there to look for all the faults, but also look at the progressive aspect of it, and how this project and how farmers, the smallholder farmers, are relating to the project. Are they involved in this project? It's also important to look at some of the challenges in the implementation of this project, so that it will also help to inform those implementing this project, because this is the work of the journalists, to ensure that things that are happening to be brought to light.
This is the beginning of a long collaboration between Roots and journalists as a 6-year project unfolds. Usman Mane, GRTS.
Over now to animal husbandry matters, because the small ruminant enhancement project on Friday handed over surveillance items and materials to the Department of Livestock Services meant for controlling diseases. The items, worth over $15 million, include 3 pickup trucks, a fleet of motorcycles, veterinary supplies, among others. Our Rohibite was at the handing over ceremony held in Abuko, and she filed in this report.
Worth over $15 million. These are the equipment and items from the Small Ruminant Enhancement Project to support the Department of Livestock. The items are intended for the surveillance of diseases within the livestock sector.
This surveillance equipment was secured through the normal procurement procedures of the ISDB in consultation and in collaboration with the implementing partner in identification and assessment of the required materials and equipment. These include 3 vehicles, 30 motorcycles, 100 tablets, 15 laptops, 6 desktops, computers.
The Small Ruminant Enhancement Project, funded by the Islamic Development Bank, is supporting implementing partners to further strengthen their service delivery in ensuring better and healthier livestock in the country.
The handing over of these surveillance equipment and materials today marks a significant milestone in our quest to reduce disease prevalence and mortality, especially PPR, which is a major killer disease of small ruminants. The development objective of the Small Ruminant Production Enhancement Project is to contribute to the improvement of the livelihoods of pastoral communities in the Gambia by strengthening the productivity and the resilience of rural communities and stimulating business entrepreneurship in the livestock sector.
Livestock, a very important component of agriculture, needs support to meet the demands of the people. Dr. Abdul Sisi, the Director General of the Department of Livestock Services, said they need to be equipped in order to deliver as expected.
Like any extension service deliverer, the DLS is expected to be well equipped and strengthened to be able to perform to expectation. This will necessarily require the availability of a well-trained workforce, both at professional and the field level, as well as availability of apt equipment.
This development was applauded by beneficiaries who all hailed the Small Ruminant Enhancement Project for the support, while urging other partners to emulate such.
This support will also reduce the mobility constraint faced by the agency and assist the agency for their routinely collections of market data, cattle tax collections, slaughter fees, manage livestock markets and slaughter facilities to ensure that national food quality and safety standards are maintained.
I actually do challenge the Department of Livestock Services and the Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency. There's a saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. And we hope these particular mobilities and equipment will serve the interests of the farmers in this country. They are for the farmers, and I hope they will be able to help the farmers to reduce the difficulties that the farmers are facing.
The need to improve institution surveillance systems is crucial, especially for that of the livestock sector, as improving food security is a national concern. Rahibitei, GRTS.
Now, away from that, the installation exercise for the second phase of the $5 million funded electricity expansion project by the government of the Gambia through NAWEC is underway in Kiang East. The project will get its power supply from Soma and will electrify 9 communities in the Lower River region and other places in the Greater Banjul area. Majany Baro reports.
Phase of electricity expansion project by the National Water and Electricity Company began in Kiang East, Lower River region of the Gambia, to bring quality electricity supply to over 9 targeted communities, including Kiang East and the Greater Banjul area. The project coordinator, EEP Usman Jai, said the challenges of the Phase 1 expansion project includes foundations for the poles, the burning of a transformer due to a heavy downpour during the last rainy season, as well as overloading. This, he maintained, has been addressed by a committee set up by his institute.
We had some issues of teething problems and some issues of, pole foundations. One transformer that got burnt due to, the rainy season, might be some overloading. And then we also had the pillar units, that is the distribution box at the transformer base where you extend supply to the community. So some of them got burnt. We are replacing them under this phase 2 as part of the first liability period of the phase 1. So those are also coming to be part of the works for phase 2.
The project, which will supply electricity to its targeted communities through the help of NAWEC, is expected to be completed by March 2023, said PG Modi, project manager, KEI Industries Limited.
9 villages for the different communities we are going to electrify with the help of project coordinator of NAWEC, Mr. Usman, and their people.
In welcoming the life-changing development, the village head of Kiang Kayav, Alhaji Chernos Sane, and Aissatou Sonko outlined challenges associated with lack of electricity, which includes living in dark environment at night.
Follow.
We usually travel to Soma to buy ice blocks. Storage of foodstuffs was another problem. We think we were left behind after seeing other communities in Kiang being electrified. But today we are happy to see the opposite, thanks to NAWEC and the Gambia government. After the successful implementation of Phase 1 of EEP in Kiang Central, beneficiaries including Maimuna Diba and Abubakar Jaju say the project has changed their lives and livelihoods, adding that they are happy and satisfied with the continuous supply of electricity.
Man kombola de ligeda way dama fi am contract ma ñew tamit ma seet sen courant bi almost bo mo gëna strong bu combo bi sax.
I prefer staying here and work than to work in Combo because we are enjoying continuous electricity supply, which is our work. The second phase of electricity expansion project is expected to positively impact on the lives and livelihood of the people in Kiang East and other communities in the Greater Banjul area. Majan Baro for GRTS News.
We will stay with matters happening in rural Gambia because Fantanka, in partnership with UNFPA, have staged a community sensitization campaign on child marriage, female genital mutilation, and teenage pregnancy in the Central River region. Our correspondent in the area, Modulamin Sane, covered the forum and sent us this report.
A rare procession in the heart of Central River region, Bansang. The purpose is clear. These young men and women are marching against child marriage and teenage pregnancy, which seem to be on the rise in this part of the country. Joined by students from various schools, the awareness campaign program led by Fantanka, with support from UNFPA, having another lens on FGMC.
We want adults, parents, particularly, to normalize conversations around sexual health matters. It is something that is important because we are here, we are in the world because of sexual health issues, because of sex. So when we don't give, when we fail to give young people the correct information about sexual related matters, what we are doing is denying them the chance to be able to think about these issues, to be able to, act on issues independently.
Their focus is to raise awareness and enlighten the public on these issues, which are clearly done on the flyers exhibited by the group.
We want to have a radio program where we will invite the teacher, the parent, the child to talk about this. Actually, what is happening in the schools is really on increase, and actually we should make a stop to it, especially within the children who are at the age, who are in the grade 9s, 10s. They are almost coming to the end of their lifetime in the schools.
Organizers intend to support gender transformative through a strategic approach that will help overcome harmful practices.
We want young people to go out and be active, be able to have voices of their own, be able to face their adults, their parents, to have honest conversations about the issues that affect them. So these are things that we are expecting to happen.
The campaign in Central River region avails participants like this woman and Geneva Jawara to share their stories and forward ideas that will support the fight to end harmful practices in society.
Convince certain people is very, very difficult because still people, they have the notion that people should go to married early. Like for me, as a health worker and a National Assembly member, I know the health implication. Like if you should take your girl child for early marriage, like the secondary characteristics of that particular girl child is not well developed. So during labor, that particular child may have difficulties during labor. So these are some of the consequences that we need to put across to our people so that they can understand that early marriage, it has a lot of consequences.
The community engagement program wrapped up with an interactive session, exchanging ideas as Fantanka officials intensify the fight against child marriage and maternal mortality. Mood Lamin Sane reporting for GRTS News from the Central River region.
The National Enterprise Development Initiative, NEDI, with support from the Rise Value Chain Transformative Project, recently concluded a 4-day capacity building on leadership and management skills. The forum, held in summer, targeted youths from the service processing centers in CRR and URR. A correspondent in the Lower River region, Usman Balde, picks up the rest of that story.
The Youth Agriculture Service Centers is an initiative of the Rise Value Chain Transformative Project, which aims at empowering young people in the agri-value chain to create entrepreneurship for self-sufficiency. Speaking at the closing ceremony, the General Manager for NEDI, Abbas Ba, challenged participants to work hard in boosting rice production so as to reduce rice importation in the country.
If you agree to be part of the committee, to be part of the Youth Service Center, please make sure that you are ready. Please, if you are not ready, give way to somebody who is ready to be able to contribute very well. Most of the time we take positions just because we are the one there. But if you cannot deliver, just say, no, I cannot. And then somebody can come and do the work. Because what happens if you are there and performance is not recognized? You are not only stopping yourself from growth, you are also impacting the project objectives. And that, by the way, will also affect the overall objective of government development programs.
Ibrahim Sise, Project Officer, Rice Value Chain Transformative Project, spoke on the role young people play in the attainment of food self-sufficiency in rice. He therefore called on these youths to make best use of the opportunity provided to them.
As far as the project is concerned, youths have a stake in the rice production because at the conception of this project, rice production has been realized that it cannot move forward without the involvement of the youths. Because you go to the rice fields today, the average age you would find there working in the rice fields are 60 and above. The young people are not there. So labor is a big challenge. That's why the project come up with an alternative that we believe, if implemented effectively and efficiently, would help increase rice production and productivity. And one approach to that is premised on the establishment of the youth service centers. We have already done that. 4 youth service centers have been established and provided with equipment, specifically 5 power tillers each, 2 mini combine harvesters, reapers, and land levelers. These are basic essential equipments, mechanized, capable of being the game changer in rice production if effectively and efficiently utilized by the youths.
Participant Abdullah Salah from CRR thanked the organizers for giving them the opportunity while renewing their commitment to improving rice production.
And this one is for the young people. I think it's a high time we develop our nation, because we have been seeing a lot of countries right now, they are in the hands of the young people. So if we are given this opportunity to develop ourselves through into rice production, I think it's something that we have to take it seriously. In our areas, we all know the provinces, we embark on agriculture, as Director rightly mentioned. So I think this is going to be another opportunity for young people also. And then, like he said, these youth service centers, they are established not only in our time frame or our duration, but we want something to be in future.
Participants were awarded certificates after the training. Usman Balde, GRTS News.
Now, a two-day convergence by the Regional Technical Advisory Committee is underway in the Upper River region. The quarterly meeting brought together heads of various institutions and departments to discuss achievements, challenges, and the way forward to address their problems. Saidu Kamara reports from Basse.
This is the quarterly forum of the Tax Advisory Committee, which brought together heads of institutions and departments to share and discuss about their activity reports. The two-day tax engagement meeting also provides the platform for the various institution heads to discuss the objective and expectation of projects being implemented by their respective offices. The governor of URL Sambaba said the meeting is important for the participants to review and evaluate the achievements and challenges of their respective institutions and departments, as well find solutions to some of the problems.
The TAC, as we know, was constituted by an Act of Parliament that has directed us to be meeting quarterly in order to make a review of what we have done in the past. We also call on the general public, particularly in URR, for them to come, and then we now tell them what we have been doing in the past quarter.
Governor Oba commended the Office of the President and partners for the foresight to support such a laudable initiative.
As we know, we are the duty bearers, and we are here representing institutions, both public and private institutions, in order for us to deliver to the best of our ability in order to affect changes and lives of the people that we serve. I seize this opportunity once again to indulge on all of us here present, including my humble self, in making sure we respect these 2 days TAC meeting, and we understand, always put it at the back of our mind, it is not through pleasure that we are here, but it is through our work that we are designed to do. That is why we are here to have this meeting.
The chairman of Basse Area Council, Fode Danjo, said public servants are accountable to the taxpayers, hence the need to report back to them.
Citizen engagement is very, very important because you need to tell your citizens how you are utilizing their funds or how your activities are going on, so that they will know that how things are going should not be kept only in the offices.
We want to know the progress that you have made so far for the quarter, challenges you have encountered, and the recommendation for the quarter.
Modu Swa from the Departments of Strategic Planning and Delivery at the Office of the President said the forum is part of the Open Governance Initiative (OGI) program, which gives people the opportunity to participate in how they are governed.
We are going to have 2 days of meeting with you people, the Technical Advisory Committee. At the end of the two days meeting, on Saturday we'll have the town hall meeting. That is where representatives, where chiefs, alcalos, and their representatives will be invited to attend. Now, this is going to be an open session where the representatives of the people can ask questions from duty bearers. The duty bearers are the government and the other service providers in the region here.
It is hoped that at the end of the 2 days forum, the stakeholders will come up with a comprehensive institutional report for the region, as well as a national project implementation that will represent the needs and aspirations of the people in URL. Saido Kamara, reporting for GRTS News from Basse Upper River Region.
You're watching GRTS News, and I am SSO. Time now for a look at the day's weather report, courtesy of the Central Forecast Office. That was the day's weather report, courtesy of the Central Forecast Office. We'll be looking at sports, but that will be right after this coming commercial break. Welcome back. And in sports, members of the Gambia National Interdepartmental Sports Association and their counterparts from the Federation of Senegalese Sportif Travail in Senegal held a technical meeting ahead of a football competition organized by NISA members. The Senegalese delegation is in Banjul at the invitation of their Gambian counterparts for a 3-day football tournament. Famara Baji has the rest of that story.
The relationships between these two committees now stretch over a decade, and every year they strive efforts to strengthen the existing ties between the Fédération Sénégalaise Sportive Travail and the committee members of the National Interdepartmental Sports Association of the Gambia. The two engage on matters relating to the football competition, among other vital issues in these discussions.
The issue of integration between African countries cannot happen, I always say this, without Senegal and the Gambia. And the best way we can do it, and the easiest way, is through sports. Therefore, Senegalese are here today. We have a technical meeting with them with a view to preparing a 3-day fitness tournament with them.
Arfan Job, the head of delegation, and Aliou Badara Gueye, the technical director of the Fédération Sénégalaise Sportive Travail, commended their counterparts for the invitation, which they said will take the relationship to another level. Baibite, the second vice president of NISA, explained the number of teams involved in the unifying tournament.
The Gambian teams are represented by the National Road Authority, the GPPC, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, and the KMC. Senegalese have 2 teams that is coming from Senegal. You have the Mairie of Kaolack, that is the mayor of Kaolack, that is the municipality of Kaolack, and also the University of Virtual University of Dakar. So 6 teams are going to compete in a 3-day championship.
Sports has been perceived widely as a unifier, and organizers are taking advantage of the spirit involved in the beautiful game to deepen the ties.
We're looking at not winning. We want to see win-win situation whereby Senegalese and Gambians come together. We rub shoulders with our counterparts, make friendship, and also discuss issues that will take Senegal and the Gambia forward. So this is the main purpose of this tournament.
The Gambia delegation was also invited to a similar tournament in Senegal in 2021. Famara Baji, GRTS News.
Thereby, Famara Baji brings us to the end of this edition of the news. But before we go, here is a quick recap of our top stories. The Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, has decorated 9 senior officers who were recently promoted to the ranks of Lieutenant Colonel and Commander. The Vice President, His Excellency Aliou Badara Diouf, received in audience stakeholders in the timber export trade at his office in Banjul. And His Excellency President Adama Barrow has appointed Mr. Usman A. Ba as Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, effective Friday, the 24th of June, 2022. Plus, the Small Ruminant Enhancement Project has handed over disease surveillance items worth over $15 million to the Department of Livestock Services. And in sports, Gambia's National Interdepartmental Sports Association, NISA, and its Senegalese counterparts are organizing a 3-day meeting ahead of a football competition in Banjul. Elsewhere, Kenya has hosted her first International Pistol Shooting Confederation Open Championship. Well, viewers, that was all we had for you in this edition of